What's going on, everybody? Welcome to TheBeatMajors.net. Glad you're here. Glad you're watching today. Today we're going to break down one of the beats on our website that is called Blow It All. And it's kind of like a Ray Shrimmer, Young Thug type joint. Mad trappy, of course. But yeah, so basically we just want to show you kind of how the beat was put together, how we mix, certain sounds, how we put certain things together. So let's go ahead and get into it. So basically, just to give you a preview of the track. So yeah, that's pretty much the track there. Just like the bass, that's the whole thing, but we just gave you a taste of it. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off right here at the top. Track 1 is basically what track 2 is. We just kind of moved it up. I don't know why it's up there, but we're not gonna worry about it. We're just gonna focus on pretty much this area, the hook area here. So basically the first track is, of course, some Vox sample. So the first sound is a Vox sample. I forget where it came from. I'm thinking maybe a BWB kit. Shout out to Big White Beats. But anyway, just a nice just a little chant, a nice chant. Number 2, next track is gonna be Vox 2. Now, basically on that track, there's some delay on it, obviously. It's not in our chain here. Basically, when we put beats together, everyone, puts everything in one session, with their effects and everything, and then we go back and change things around. So here you hear that Vox and it has like a delay on it, and then we EQ'd it with the Vox preset that Parametric EQ2 has, the vocal presence, and then kind of tweaked it from there. We used the multi-band compressor. Again, the Parametric EQ2, and that's just to drop out a lot of the lower frequencies that don't need to register in here, so that we can give the bottom end of the track a little more room to breathe. Because when you have certain frequencies that are in the track that don't need to be there, what will happen is those frequencies will clash and they won't sound good together. So that's kind of the reason why we did a high pass filter basically on the Vox. And you should do that on a lot of your Vox too. The next one is going to be down here, and this is just an open hi-hat. And with that, we just use the SSL EQ, and we just use the hi-hat preset and kind of tweaked it our own way from there. That's usually a good thing for you new producers too. You can use the presets, but change the presets up and make them into your own thing, and save them as your own presets, so you don't have to go back to it and remake your own. The next sound we have is Open Hat 2, and the open hats, they just kind of give the drums a good feel. So actually what I should do for you guys is kind of play the track with just the drums, so you can get a feel of what's going on. So yeah, those are the drums that we pretty much used on the track. Basically with the drums, they're, like I said, they're trappy, they're hard, they hit hard. We used a kick. Now the kick, and with the kick, basically that kick's hitting pretty hard. So then we have the parametric EQ that we're going to add in. And of course we have that sitting right here around 6 dB. Actually, it looks like a 634. It's not really at 6. The reason we do that is because that's a good starting point, just to give yourself 6 dB of headroom. That's a pretty good starting point to start mixing your drums. So next we have the 808. And something I want to point out is also how the 808, if you pay attention here, there is sidechain compression on there. There's compression on there, so when every time the kick hits, it makes the 808 drop, and that's called side chaining. That's called sidechain compression. Sorry, I can't get the word out, but sidechain compression. So we have that, and basically, what happens when this, like I said, when the kick hits, the 808 drops down. So that gives the kick room to breathe, and once the kick hits, the 808 comes right back up, so that it comes back to its normal volume. So now that stands out. So it just basically gives both of them their spot in the mix. So for the rest of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just bring things in and just kind of show you what's on the channels. And yeah. With the snares, we stacked the snares. There's 2 snares there, and for both of them we did the same thing. Just the regular parametric EQ. Again, we have our own presets for these certain things, so that's why we use them. Parametric EQ, same thing. We did a high pass filter and just dropped around 80. We're looking at about 94 hertz. That's where the first band is sitting, and then we kind of brought some of the upper mids out. Just decreased them. We didn't necessarily remove them. We just decreased that area so that the other snare can stand out with that snare. So if you listen, both snares stand out better. Also, you know, people won't know that you have 2 snares stacked together. Just gives the snare a little bit more character. We added a hi-hat. Again, with this, we used the SSL EQ along with the parametric EQ and just brought the low end out of it. also brought some treble out of it too, just so that it's not sounding. My best way to describe it is it doesn't sound chalky. That's it's like sandpaper basically. So and these are just small tweaks that will, improve your mix in a major way. These, like I said, it's just small minor stuff that can make your drums, that much better or that much different than someone else's. And again, with our open hi-hat, we just put the SSL EQ and just EQ'd those along with the crash and put a little delay on it. If we go back to the sounds, the only sounds that we pretty much used is a synth here. And with that's just a sound that we used Effectrix on. We EQ'd it. We added the multi-band compression just to kind of keep it at a normal level. And that's pretty much all we did for that sound. The next sound we have is kind of like a scratch effect. Now we kind of just did some weird stuff, just put Effectrix on it, which gives it that, it just makes it stand out and makes it do those crazy effects at the end of it. Next we have the bell piano. And that sound, again, that's just like as it is, bell piano. We put some EQ on it, multi-band compressor to just again keep some of the sounds at their normal level, and to compress certain frequencies. That's why we like the multi-band compressor, because you're able to compress certain frequencies within that sound or within that vocal, whatever you're using. And then we just put a slight fruity flanger on it. We kept it all the way up, so if I take it off, just gives it an eerie feel. And the next thing we have are more bells, just airy bells. And those airy bells, we again use Effectrix on those, just EQ'd it. We'll use the stereo enhancer just to kind of give it some space in the mix, just to kind of bring it to both sides of your ears instead of just sitting in the middle of the mix. And we have brass hits. And those are kind of thin. We didn't want them to be full for this one for a specific reason, just because of the other sounds. We just wanted it to accent other sounds. We didn't necessarily want it to stand out too much. So just to kind of give the bell piano a nice tail, along with the airy bells here, it just kind of carries, with the resonance of it, it just kind of carries those sounds. Another thing that we use, which is really, really cool, came from Omnisphere, actually. Let me get it here. Okay. Basically, it's just a transitional sound. We just used it to change over into the next part of the hook, and to come back in with the beat if we do any drops. And I'll let you hear what it sounds like. and it's just an airy sound. It's nothing, nothing major. Like I said, it's just something to just kind of let the listener or the artist know that, hey, another change up or another part of the track is coming up. So, be prepared. And I'll play it together so you guys can kind of hear what I'm talking about here. Again, it's just a nice, transitional sound. Nothing major, nothing crazy. Just enough to just to kind of let the listener or the artist know, hey, a change up's coming, so be ready. What else did we do? Of course, we put some transition effects in here. I'll play a couple of those for you. Yeah, so just got that transition in there, just again to kind of change it up. And we did a little bit of automation also, just some panning when the snare roll comes back around. You have one going to the left, one going to the right, and there's 4 snares, so 2 of them are in the middle and one left, one right. Just to kind of give the track a little bit more excitement and just to let you hear what I mean. So yeah, it just goes left and right. Like I said, it gives the track a little bit more excitement. But yeah, so that's pretty much the Blow It All track. Again, if you want to check this track out or this beat, this instrumental, just click the link in the description, and you can download it for free. If you want to do any demo songs to it or anything like that, hey, try it out. Hope you guys got some value up out of this, and yeah, time to sign off. Until next time, guys, I'll just let this track play so you guys can kind of hear a little bit more of it. Peace.